love him or hate him, Mason Greenwood has been linked with a move away from Old Trafford, and Roma are the latest club to have shown an interest in the player as he looks to restore his career. So apparently, as according to the Daily Mirror, Jose Mourinho has reached out to the forward about signing him on loan for the 2023-24 season, despite him not having played since January 2022. That's a long time to not have played football. I mean, not have played team football anyway, or have coached with your team, been coached with your teammates, or not had anybody push you in training. You're not competing with other people in training like you would if you were part of a squad, which obviously Greenwood's not been since January 2022. So his fitness is going to have been affected completely. I mean, apparently Mourinho called Greenwood's father and also spoke with him, Mason, and he told him that the best way of his out of his current situation is to start playing football, and that eventually all the hassle will fade away. Now, I mean, will it? Will all that hassle fade away? Now, what do you think about that? Personally, through the passage of time, I have to agree with Mourinho that um, people will learn to forget what has happened. But I didn't really want to, in this video, talk about whether um, he was guilty or not guilty of those accusations. And obviously, the Crown Prosecution Service here in the UK decided that they didn't have a case against Greenwood. Well, at least not one that they could win and secure a conviction, which is enough. So basically, what they were saying was they couldn't convince a jury that Mason Greenwood was guilty. But anyway, um, according to the Mirror again, Greenwood was pleased with the fact that Mourinho reached out to him, and that has lifted his spirits. I mean, he's a human being. Yeah, okay, you might be saying, might be slightly against him because of how much money he earns or has earned, and the fact that he's had a chance to be a professional football player. But the guy still has emotions. He wasn't found guilty of anything. There were only accusations, and he has to be looked after. So the fact that Mourinho reached out to him and offered him a lifeline, obviously having been, a Manchester United manager, he obviously knows, quite a bit about Mason Greenwood and sees potential in him. So that is why it lifted his spirits. So, um, I mean, that's pretty obvious, really, and I expect that Mason Mount. Mason Mount on the mind today. I'm not even doing a video about him either. But yeah, he's got his medical tomorrow, and I suppose that's tomorrow's news, isn't it? We're all kind of waiting to see whether he passes his medical or not. Well, anyway, getting back to Mason Greenwood, um, yeah, he's waiting for United to make a decision about what they're going to do. I mean, obviously they've had that internal investigation, and nobody knows what they're going to do. There's talk about whether he'll go back with the first team, whether he'll go with the reserves in training, whether he'll go out on loan. So, hence this Roma and Jose Mourinho story. But apparently there are other clubs that are interested in him. So other Serie A clubs mainly. So that's in Juventus and AC Milan have also been linked with signing Greenwood. I mean, he did start back training last week, but it wasn't with the first team. It was with at some sports complex somewhere, and he wasn't wearing kind of like any kind of uh, Manchester United branding or sponsorship deal clothing. He just apparently was wearing bog standard kind of like gym sporty type clothing. Um, but he is still under contract at United until summer of 2025. So better 2 years, better part of 2 years on his contract. Um, and let's not forget that he is a player who scored. I mean, he scored 35 goals in 129 appearances. A lot of that was from the bench, so that 35 goals don't seem like a lot. But he was considered to be a generational talent. having made his senior debut in the Champions League in March 2019. Now, I mean, obviously, if the allegations against him weren't true, I totally feel sorry for the lad. I really do. And I don't know whether those allegations were true or not. And I'm just looking at this from a footballing point of view. Now, from a purely footballing point of view, I have no way of knowing if those allegations were true or not. So if the Crown Prosecution Service did not think they had enough evidence to go on, then I have to back that and go with that. So I'd actually keep him at the club. Although, like a few other pundits have said, and a few other, like the United stand, so Mark Goldbridge on the United stand, and then the guy on United People's TV. They think, and I think it may be better for him to go on loan for a year or two. I mean, he'll still be young in a year or two. He'll still be a young player. If he goes to Italy, seems to be a country that doesn't really care about that kind of thing. So maybe, just maybe, that is the best place for him, and he can go and rebuild his career, rebuild his confidence, deal with any kind of mental health issues that have come out from all of this, because the guy is going to be scarred. I mean, if he was innocent, then he deserves a chance at the end of the day. If he hadn't done the things he was accused of, then he does deserve a chance. And right now, will we ever truly find out whether it was true or not? So innocent until proven guilty. He's not going to be proven guilty, so he has to be given a chance. And that's just where I stand on that. So whether that's at United or at Roma, who knows? Um, Let me know what you think in the comments. Um, do you think he should go to Roma? Do you think he should stay at United? Um, what do you want to say about Mason Greenwood? Thanks for watching.